As the language war escalates, pro-Kannada activists have begun taking the law into their hands under the garb of being culture custodians of the state. 4 different stations attacked almost simultaneously in the wee hours of the morning by hardline activists.
The anti-Hindi protest here in the city has only intensified with each passing day. Early this morning on Thursday between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. we saw Karnataka Rakshana Vedike activists defacing Hindi signboards at various metro stations.
Their defense is as outrageous as their actions.
Everybody in India are paying tax. So having said that, Karnataka pays tax to the central government just like how a Hindi person pays tax to the central government.
The highest amount of stakes is taken by state and not the center. Secondly, the 3-language policy applies only to central government offices. Nama Metro is not a central government office.
As of now, we are actually demanding to implement Karnataka state language policy in Nama Metro.
Under fire for going easy on these vandals, the Karnataka administration has detained 14 people. But the wave of public anger against the government's trilingual signage shows no signs of receding. As the language war grows bigger, we ask, are these self-styled custodians of culture, or are they just bullies on the loose? Mirror Now report.
But here are the two sides of the argument. On one side, the people who are fighting in Bangalore say, why should Hindi be imposed on us? On the other side, the 50% of the country who does speak Hindi asks, why not? The simple question we are asking tonight is, why is the Karnataka government allowing these people to vandalize and deface public property? Why hasn't anybody been arrested? And where is the Karnataka government's stand in all of this? Is this just rumbling before an election year? As always, is politics taking advantage of emotions? Should we allow this sort of thing to happen in a modern cosmopolitan city like Bangalore? I want to know what you think as well, because this is a raging debate and we've seen it from the last few weeks build up into something else altogether. There was a question of perhaps a flag for Karnataka that was then termed anti-national. There was the other question in Tamil Nadu, where Tamil Nadu said that they don't want Hindi either. There was a third instance where A.R. Rahman in a concert in London faced some complaints and wrath from his fans who turned around and said he sang too many Tamil songs and they wanted him to sing more Hindi. There seems to be a misunderstanding based on language. Where do we stand on the question of a national language? Do we have a national language? Is Hindi officially our national language according to the Constitution? If it isn't, then should the people of South India have to put Hindi on their signboards? That's a question we are asking this evening. Joining me on the show, Yogesh Verma, spokesperson of the BJP. Brijesh Kalappa is the national spokesperson of the Congress party. In this particular case, he's a representative of the Karnataka government. Tanveer Ahemad is the spokesperson of the JDS in opposition in Karnataka. Kailash Vasdev, senior lawyer with the Supreme Court, will join us through the course of this conversation. We have Praveen Patil, he's a member of the Karnataka Rakshana Vedike, or the Kannada Rakshana Vedike. We welcome him to the conversation. And Firoz Bakht Ahmad is a social commentator. I welcome all of you to this conversation. I'm going to start with Tanveer Ahemad. Tanveer Ahemad, you're in Bangalore. Explain to us where all of this confusion is coming from.
See, all this confusion is started by the central government. Actually, they are the one who unnecessarily impose Hindi, wherein it was really not required in our metro, because Kannada in English is very much sufficient, because people who are living here for a pretty long period, 81% of us do read and write Kannada, and English is also there to help people who are coming outside Karnataka. When the central government started imposing the language of Hindi on us, that's when all this started. And let me just tell you one thing, we are also a party who said that we are definitely going to agitate against this, but in a peaceful manner. So this is the entire blame on totality goes on the central government, who has imposed unnecessarily Hindi language on poor Kannadigas who want to really, hold back to their culture, And they, when their culture was questioned, when unnecessary imposition do happen, this is exactly the result which is due to happen, fact.
Tanveer Ahemad, let me understand. One second, Tanveer Ahemad, I want to understand this. When you say imposed Hindi, the Bangalore Metro project or the Namma Metro project is a Karnataka state government project. Who made the decision of the signboards? Who imposed what?
The signboard is still under the control of the central government because it belongs to railways. But Namma Metro project is totally 71% of it is being funded by the state government, and also a part of it is from the central government, because central government do invest in a lot of projects across the country. But that doesn't give them an authority, that doesn't give them an, the authority to come and impose the language. It is definitely totally a blame on central government, and also a partial blame is also on the state government, which really agreed and succumbed to the pressure of the central government. They shouldn't have succumbed to the pressure of central government. Here both the parties are responsible, but the bigger blame, bigger responsibility goes on the central government. The union government is thinking Hindi is India, India is Hindi. No, we in the state do have our regional identity, regional language, we have our culture. They can't really question our culture.
Tanveer Ahemad, we heard you out. Let me bring in other voices. I want to bring in Kailash Vasdev, senior lawyer, Supreme Court. Kailash Vasdev, there's a lot of talk about a national language. We have a national bird, we have a national animal, we have a national sport. Do we have on paper a national language, Kailash Vasdev, according to the Constitution of India?
Have an official language. You see, this is a very strange affair which takes place in our country. In the 1960s, when Hindi was being propagated after 15 years of the Constitution, Tamil Nadu, in those days called Madras, went really, there was fire all over the place that they wouldn't accept Hindi. As time has gone along, Hindi has become the official language of the country under the constitutional scheme. Article 341, 342, 343, all those provide for national languages, official languages and regional languages. The scheme of the Constitution says for the first 15 years, English will be the national language, and then you will promote Hindi in the Devanagari script. That has happened, and it is bound to happen because every country has its own language. France speaks French, Italians speak their own language, English speak English. You see, so the Mexicans follow their own language. So you've got to have a local language which represents the nation, and that was accepted by the founding fathers. They also provided a very beautiful scheme in the remaining provisions for a regional language. You have 22 regional languages. Earlier there were lesser numbers, but with constitutional amendments, with the heterogeneous population of our country, you began to include languages like Bodo, Sindhi and all coming into the regional language systems. So therefore there is a balance between an official language and a regional language. States can use regional languages on the legislation by the state and notification by the governor. The President of India can impose official language in Hindi by appointing a commission followed by a committee and then accepting the recommendations and saying now Hindi will be the official language. But English has not been given a go-by because it forms the terra firma of all government notifications in the past. The functioning of the courts are in English, especially the Supreme Court. The High Courts are also in English largely. Hence, for anyone to take a stand that Hindi is an imposition as against the position that it is going to be the language of the country, binding all areas and permeating all walks of life like English has been, there is no reason for anyone to feel that Hindi is going to overtake their local regional language, because take for example Punjab. Things are written in English, Gurmukhi, Urdu and Hindi. You go into any railway station, any signage. You go into Bengal, you go into Orissa, you will find that these four languages are always, actually three are always there, the regional language, Hindi and English, as signages everywhere. To say that Hindi is coming as an imposition and then taking recourse to violence is not correct. It is not the way to work the system. Once the Constitution provides for it, let us accept it, refer to the legislature, let the legislator decide. But please do not take the law into your own hands to say Hindi is not an official language of the state. It is not the contemplation of the Constitution.
Very well said, Kailash Vasdev. Thank you very much. Brijesh Kalappa, National Spokesperson of the Congress, joins us. Brijesh Kalappa, explain to us this. Everything else aside, we now are in a situation where there are people defacing public property, vandalizing public property, and no action is being taken against them. Why isn't the state government being clear about the stand with these boards? Why are you allowing people to take matters into their own hands? There should be clear communication from the state government, which there isn't.
The first thing is fair. I think the responsibility for this entire issue goes squarely on the central government, because in May of 2016, the metro project, as it was nearing completion, there was a letter from the centre, and it directed us that Hindi should be given a very predominant role. For that, our Chief Secretary wrote back and said that, look, you can't impose Hindi on us. One, the metro project is a state project, it's not a central project. If it's a central project, we have no option. Then the three language formula automatically kicks in. But this is a state project in which the centre is contributing a very small sum. Therefore, essentially, this is a state project. You must understand that the metro is there in states which are essentially non-BJP ruled. Therefore, this can't have been a central project at all. You see, even the famous project of Gujarat, Ahmedabad, has still not taken off, despite the
Brijesh Kalappa, focus on the
so
question.
much claims being made about Ahmedabad being very well developed and so on and so forth. No, I'm only telling you. So that this is a state project. So it's not a central project. In a state project, like I told you, the central government immediately started to say that, look, we are going to have Hindi. So naturally, the tempers were raised. And when the tempers were raised, then naturally what was the next thing to do? The central government stuck to its stand and said Hindi. You remember the statement of Mr. Venkaiah Naidu. He said, if you have to be in India, learn Hindi. So this statement, along with the actions of the central government, and you would also recall what the famous Rajya Sabha MP said. He compared the South Indians to Africans just the other day. So, you know, there has been a series of events which have given people the impression.
So tell me something. Tell me something, Brijesh Kalappa. Brijesh Kalappa, tell me something. Tell me something.
No,
you said, and I'm just responding to what you said. I'm just responding to what you said.
1 minute. Let me complete. See, okay. I speak impeccable Hindi. I speak impeccable Hindi.
Sure you do.
But a lot of people in Bangalore do speak Hindi. But let's be persuaded to do so. This imposition is not going to work in the south of India. You see, we have a language which is about 2,000 years old. So if you're going to tell us that, look, junk your language, only adopt Hindi, it's not going to cut eyes.
Okay, all right.
If you're going to persuade us, if you're going to tell us.
All right, so now let me respond to what you said. Brijesh Kalappa, you said in May 2016, you received a letter from the state, from the central government, asking you to give Hindi prominence on the signboards. That was May 2016. We are now at the end of July 2017. We're very close to an election year. Did the state government wait this long to dredge it up? Why didn't you react to it earlier? Why hasn't the state government officially made its stand clear? Why hasn't the state government said something? Secondly, you said tempers were raised. Whose tempers were raised? Was it the temper of the chief minister? Was it the temper of the chief secretary of the state? Are you allowing tempers to be raised on the roads of Bangalore, which is a cosmopolitan city that invites people from all over the country to come there, work and feel safe? Is this really a safe environment that you want people to work in? And finally, you said you cannot tell us to junk our language. When has the Karnataka government been asked to junk any language? Has the Karnataka government been asked to junk any language? Aren't you making loose and slightly irresponsible statements here on national television to rile up emotion before an election year? Isn't that what this is really about?
I wish you would listen a little more carefully, Faye. I said that our chief secretary had responded. You asked me a question, what have you done? Our chief secretary responded. We wrote 2 letters, and in both of those letters we have said, like, we resent this imposition of Hindi on us. Please don't do this. This is not something which we like. First, the project is a state project, so don't even speak about Hindi in this project. See, if it's a national project, there's no issue. The three-language formula automatically kicks in. Why should it automatically come when it's a state project? This is the prime question. To that, the Central Minister for Urban Affairs, who's now going to be the Vice President of India, said that, no, you better learn Hindi. So what kind of a response was that? The moment this response came, that was when everybody, the emotions were flared. So am I saying that we were giving, flames, setting the passions aflame? We were not doing anything. We were just watching the situation and seeing to it that nothing went out of control. And till date, nothing has gone out of control. No violence is broken out. Of course, there have been a few instances where the boards have been covered, but this is it's only a means to see that this problem comes to an end. We have
so the state government. So the state government condones the state government condones this vandalization of public property. You're saying it's a means to an end?
No, where is the vandalization? First of all, you see, if a figure, there is a paste put on it, it's not called vandalization. Unless you've changed the dictionary today for vandalization to mean something else. That's not vandalization.
Brijesh Kalappa, that paste being put on it, was that officially done by the government?
It's not.
Were these official government people or official people from the metro who did it? Who were these people who did it?
See, that exactly what I'm saying. That people working in the metro, they don't want an unseemly controversy to break out. So it is, I think, the metro itself which has pasted this, and that's not called vandalization by any stretch of imagination.
We could re-look at the definition of what vandalization is, but let me just bring in the rest of our voices right now. Yogesh Verma, spokesperson of the BJP, go ahead.
मैं एक बात कहना चाहता हूँ कि कर्नाटक में इस वक्त कांग्रेस की सरकार है। आज से 10 साल पहले जब विलासराव देशमुख जी यहाँ के मुख्यमंत्री थे, तब इन्होंने भी इसी प्रकार का एक मराठी वर्सेस हिंदी एक वाद क्रिएट करके एक लोकल पार्टी को उन्होंने मदद किया, जिस पार्टी ने पूरे प्रदेश के अंदर आगजनी, तोड़फोड़ ये सब मचा करके और कांग्रेस को जिताने का काम किया। तो ये एक ऐसा मुद्दा, ये चुनाव का वर्ष है, इस चुनाव के वर्ष के अंदर जब ये सरकार अखंड करप्शन से डूबी हुई है, पूरी जनता इनसे त्रस्त है, तो इस मुद्दे को भटकाने के लिए स्टेट स्पॉन्सर्ड इस प्रकार का छोटा सा ग्रुप जिसको कोई मान्यता भी नहीं है। मैंने जब आपके यहाँ से कोऑर्डिनेटर का फ़ोन आया और मैंने कई और मेरे कर्नाटक के मित्रों को फ़ोन किया, तो मैंने कहा कि ये कोई मुद्दा है क्या, तो उन्होंने कहा कि ये मुद्दा क्या है हमको पता भी नहीं है। तो इस मुद्दे को कैसे गर्म करना, कैसे गर्म करके कर्नाटक के लोग और हिंदी भाषी।
Tanveer Ahemad, you know that this is not one of those shows.
कर्नाटका का अस्तित्व है। कर्नाटका का अस्तित्व ये पूरे देश का प्रश्न है। आप अकेले नहीं है, पूरा देश कर्नाटक के साथ है, कर्नाटक देश है और देश कर्नाटक है। आपको ऐसा लगता होगा कि आप देश।
मुझे एक मिनट दे दीजिए। Tanveer Ahemad, if you have a point to make, I will give you an opportunity. This is not one of those television shows where we yell at each other. My audience cannot understand you if you talk over each other. Please do not do it. Let us calmly put forward our points and actually understand what each other is saying. If we interrupt each other, if we yell over each other, we will achieve nothing. Let Mr. Yogesh Verma finish his point. I will come back to everybody to make a rebut. Yogesh Verma, go ahead.
मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि स्टेट्स को, और वो भी जो सिटिंग सरकार है, मेट्रो भी उसी के अधीन में आती है। अभी इन्होंने एक ध्वज का निकाला कि ये कर्नाटक का अलग झंडा, यानी स्टेट को कहाँ लेके जा रहे हैं। ये मेरा फिर एक बार कहना है कि ये चुनावी वर्ष है। इस चुनावी वर्ष में करप्शन के ऊपर से, मिसमैनेजमेंट के ऊपर से और लोगों के अंदर जो बेचैनी है इस कांग्रेस सरकार को लेकर के, उसको सबका ध्यान हटाने के लिए हिंदी वर्सेस कन्नड़ी ये मुद्दे को लेकर के और कांग्रेस लोगों के बीच जा रही है, जिसमें ये कभी सक्सेसफुल नहीं होंगे।
ठीक है, so you're saying it's a distraction. Praveen Patil of the Karnataka Rakshana Vedike, go ahead.
Yeah, So I've been listening to all the voices.
Yes.
And first of all, the anti-Hindi imposition protest is not new. So it's been there for a long time. So since Metro was started in way back in 2011, so Karnataka Rakshana Vedike and all pro-Kannada groups have been fighting against the Hindi imposition in these metro stations. So essentially, since it is a state government project, so we as Kannadigas don't see the need for imposing Hindi in these metro stations. And unlike Mr. Kailash and the BJP leader who spoke mostly in Hindi, so I'm not sure if I can rebut all of his points since I didn't understand most of the part. But for as of Mr. Kailash, what he was saying was, since Hindi has been accepted as the official language of the Constitution. So that doesn't mean that it has to be imposed on all of the states. So along with Hindi, English is also the official language of the country, and it has been used mainly to communicate within states. So that point he doesn't raise, but he only raises that Hindi is the official language. So along with that, so Article 351 talks about only promoting Hindi to other states at the cost of the taxpayers' money of all non-Hindi linguistic communities. Whereas never a single word is mentioned in that article which says even a regional language like Kannada or Tamil can be promoted at the cost of Hindi taxpayers' money. That doesn't happen. Whereas the other way is very much happening here.
No, but I don't understand. I don't understand the problem that you're having about taxpayers' money. And the article that you're arguing with is the Constitution of India. And the Constitution of India is uniform to all states and all Indians. I mean, you can go ahead and file something in a court if you want something changed, but I don't understand the problem here. Praveen, as a normal citizen of Bangalore... No, just one second. Let me ask my question again. As a normal citizen of Bangalore, just explain to me this so that people understand what the problem is. When you go to the metro station, the first language written on the board is Hindi. The first, I beg your pardon, the first language written on the board is Kannada very clearly. The second language is English. The third is Hindi. How is Hindi on the board offending you? What is the problem with having Hindi on that board? Because Kannada is already there for those people who read Kannada. English is there for those people who read English, which according to Tanveer Ahemad is 81% of the state.
May I answer that, Faye?
One second.
May I answer that, Faye?
I'll come back to you.
May I answer that?
Praveen, go ahead. What is the problem with also having Hindi on the board as the third language?
Yeah. So the thing is, we cannot see this incident in isolation. So the imposition of Hindi in metro should not be seen in isolation, because there is a larger propaganda, there is a larger grand scheme of things to make Hindi a common link language across the country. Because if you see in other nationalized banks or central government institutions, there is only provision for English and Hindi, whereas there are no services provided in Kannada for even Kannada literates. So when a Kannadiga enters a bank or a railway station or a post office, he feels he is an illiterate. And moreover, this addition of Hindi is to facilitate all the Hindi population that is migrating from other parts of the country to the Bangalore, whereas the same facilitation is not done for Kannadigas or Tamils who migrate to let's say Delhi or a Lucknow or
fair enough. And this is my question. Bangalore is a cosmopolitan city. It is the IT capital of this country. We expect people to come there, to work there, to add to the GDP, to buy the real estate, to shop in the malls.
Right.
But somehow we don't want to make them comfortable. You don't want people to move from other parts of the country. You want it to continue to remain. You want it to continue to lock your doors. Brijesh Kalappa, you're making people feel unwelcome, and that's just the truth.
So that...
See, you asked a basic question, Faye, and the question was that why not have Hindi along with Kannada and English? And the answer for this, Faye, is that more people in Karnataka, in Bengaluru, either read or write Tamil or Telugu or Malayalam, right? If you're going to have, and less people speak or read Hindi. So if you're going to have Hindi, why not have Telugu, Tamil or Malayalam?
Why not?
See, the point is this.
So
like
do
I
it,
said,
Brijesh
it's
Kalappa.
not
Did you
it's
write
not a
back to
national
the
project.
central government
It's a
saying,
state
let's also
project.
put 3 other languages? What's stopping you from putting 3 other languages? Put 3 other languages. Make it more inclusive. Why shut your doors? Why build walls? Why say we are not going to be inclusive? Put 4 languages. Put 5 languages. Who's going to stop you? Why can't we be more inclusive? What is the use or what is the benefit of taking a language off?
It'll
By all means, add more languages. Let's put 5 languages on the board. Write in 5 languages. Who's going to stop you?
No. If I had my way, I would have had Coorg language, which is, genuinely Karnataka language. It's a language spoken by just 2 lakh people, and I speak that language. If I had my way, I would have had that. But there is a limit to how many languages you can have. There is a limit. You can't have 500 languages there. Let's understand this. Let's understand that why should Hindi be given a prime place over Telugu, which is largely spoken, or Tamil, or even Malayalam? Why should Hindi have a specialized status? Particularly when it's a state project. If it's a central project, I understand. I understand naturally this three language formula kicks in. But see, that's the reason there is a scheme. And the scheme is that wherever there is a central project, then the 3 language formula kicks in. When it's a state project, where is the business of the central
Brijesh
government
Kalappa, Brijesh Kalappa, as a qualified lawyer who represented the state of Karnataka in Supreme Court over various other disputes, wouldn't then the right way to do this would be to approach the courts and not paint over the language and cause a stir within the state and rake up emotions? I want to take this back to Kailash Vasdev. Brijesh Kalappa is a lawyer himself. Article 343, Article 344, none of this seems to matter. Why put Hindi on the board is still the question, Kailash Vasdev.
See, let's read Article 343. It says that the official language shall be Hindi in the Devanagari script. Then they go on to say that English will continue. 344 says that there will be a commission, committee, etc. 345 onwards deal with the state regional languages. So therefore there has been a 3-language formula which has been followed by and large all over the country. Just because it is a state project doesn't mean it is an anti-national project. It's a project of the country. It was a national project which has been propagated and set up. Whoever funds it, after all, funding eventually comes from the Consolidated Fund of India. All the monies in this country come to a central pool and then are disbursed. States are entitled to collect their own money and make their own contributions. This aspect of financial control vis-a-vis national interest don't work together. You may have your political purposes, you may have your political sermons and situations. You also have 4-language situations in many a state. You use 4 languages. I do not understand why it should be confined to a position where only a local language and another language come in. Isn't that an official language? The constitution has been blown. The constitution still works. There are orders, there are judgments, there is a certain way of approaching things. You cannot put your hands up and say, no, I don't want this language. Supposing it happens in other parts of the country, what is going to be the consequence? So you see, you've got to look at the national picture. Please don't look at the states today. We're a secular country.
All right, Brijesh, I'll come to you, but I have a couple of viewers on the phone line who want to come in as well. Vijay,
what does secularism have to do with language?
One second. Vijay is on the phone line.
Secularism is the basis of your constitution.
Yeah.
Brijesh,
what does it have to do with language, sir?
Yeah. I'm a proud Bangalorean, lived there all my life, and just for a year I've been in Delhi now, or Gurgaon rather.
Yes.
Now, I find it so amazing that these fringe elements who go and, paint it black, these are the same groups who are being fostered by certain politically backed people to do all these anti-national activities or things which are not legally done. So they don't have any legal right or
I wouldn't use that word.
When people forget their existence, they come up with something of this kind to show to the world that we exist. And it is only a show of muscle and threat and nothing else. If they are so much concerned about our national language taking over Kannada, they should have a remedy legally.
Absolutely. This should have a remedy legally, and we have courts that we can approach for that sort of thing. Sanjeev on the phone line from Bangalore. Sanjeev, go ahead.
Hi, this is Sanjeev here. So first of all, Mr. Kalappa and Mr. Patil, I'm in Bangalore for the last 15 years, so I know Kannada. So very clearly, I want to probably raise one point, that if you are trying to promote Kannada, if you have to see the industries, primarily IT and ITS industry in Bangalore, why you guys are not even tying up with the IT company? Number one, trying to see if we can promote Kannada through maybe getting in touch with the learning team, promote, that's the right way. What you're trying to do right now is more about kind of imposing. If you're thinking it's an imposing a Hindi, it's not an imposing of Hindi here. It's more about they're trying to put across a word that everybody must learn Kannada. But look at the people who are coming here. They're coming around at the age of around 25, 30. They don't have any family. They try to understand how the language works. So it's very difficult for anyone at the age of coming here at 25, learn the language and then try to understand, read the language in every corner. If we have to do it, let's look at the right channel of promoting the language. This is not the right channel of promoting the language. Number one. Number two, just one quick minute. If we have to look back, all the Kannadiga friends of mine, they're trying to put their child in an English medium school. My only point is that why are we not promoting Kannada in that way? Are the Kannadigas trying to promote Kannada? Or they're trying to promote English. So I think the concern is not about Hindi. I would say that why are you promoting so much of English here?
Right, Firoz Bakht Ahmad, social commentator, joins us in Noida. Firoz, go ahead.
You see, I heard all these people with a lot of concern about language, and you know what comes to my mind is what happened in Bangalore. You know, the way the defacement and defilement of these Hindi signboards was done, the way they were blackened, this seems to me some kind of language vigilantism, like the cow vigilantism, unfortunately, in other states. It must stop, you know, come what may. First thing. The other thing is, I was listening to Tanveer Sahab also and my good friend Kalappa Sahab also. Now, Kalappa actually, whatever he said, his first statement was bang on target according to law. But whatever he said later on, he tried to be politically correct for his party masters, that is Congress party, so I totally disagree with him. So far as languages are concerned, look here, Faye, languages have no region, no religion, right? And, you know, a language like Hindi, you know, Hindi is a very dear language. You know, all languages are nearest and dearest to our hearts, whether it is Bengali, it is Telugu, it is Kannada, it is Urdu or any other language. Now, this kind of on the road, what they are showing, this kind of show must totally stop. As far as Hindi is,
I agree with you.
Just let me complete. I'll say that.
Yes,
give me a second. Give me a second. So, you know, from now onwards, Kannada is as dear to me as my mother tongue Urdu or anything. Now, this must stop. This language vigilantism will divide India into further. India is already, you know, suffering on account of these people who want to divide the nation. So, let India not be a divided house. Unfortunately, in the name of languages, all languages are near and dear to us. Whatever number of languages, Kalappa will correct me, 33 languages, whatever it is. Kannada is as dear as Hindi. Please, through this channel, if people are listening to me in Bangalore or Bengaluru, let me tell them, please avoid this. Hindi is as dear a language as Kannadiga. We are all Indians. Let us not play the language card. Let us play the India card, which is the most important card. This is what I have to just say in my statement.
Well, you know, I want to take this question back to Brijesh Kalappa because I interrupted you. Brijesh, I can see Tanveer Ahemad and Praveen Patil. I come to you. Brijesh, yes, if as a state government, there was a disagreement between state and central government about what should be put on the boards of the metro, isn't there a legal way to solve that problem? Couldn't you have approached the courts? Is blackening the face of the metro lines really the best way? Is that the mature way to deal with the problem?
See, as it is, Faye, there have been a lot of matters which the state government has been challenging in the various courts, and this will perhaps in due course it will be another issue, so long as it remains unresolved. Now, you see, we are still in the process of seeing to it that this issue is resolved, and hopefully the central government will withdraw that letter which it has said and stated that we have to have a 3-language formula. despite the fact that this is a state project, right? And I've tried to tell you the reasoning why a state project is different from a national project. And this is not just to Karnataka. It's not just to the state of Karnataka where Kannada is spoken. Across the country, there is a 3-language formula, and that 3-language formula operates only when it is a central project. If it's a state project, then there is no imposition. There is no 3-language formula.
So,
the
Brijesh
special
Kalappa, go to court.
care that was taken by the central government, the special impetus. No, see, as a lawyer, I don't think I require any advice on from you as to when to go to court and when not to go to court. We will go to court when the time is right? And we will also approach the court, and we will also get relief for that.
No, Brajesh, as Indians, we can advise you. We know you are a professional.
For everything, court is not a
listen
solution.
to Indians.
Where is the point?
Listen to the voice of media also. There might be something useful.
Where is the point in having a TV debate? We might as well resolve every issue in court. Why are you having a TV debate on this subject? Why are you having a TV debate on this subject?
Because
Leave the TV
cannot
debate aside. We go to issue.
All right, let me bring in Kailash Vasdev.
It's not a simplistic solution.
Is blackening the boards of the metro the answer to this question? Could this have been solved in a better...
the board of the metro.
Yes.
Trying to efface a language by itself or a particular language is not correct. You see, you're speaking about the issue of the regional languages and the national language. Under the constitutional scheme, the national issues will prevail. State languages will always be there. See Article 345, see 346. You have the power to go to the state assembly, say make it an official declaration. Courts come into these issues later. First, you have got to decide the matters in legislation. If you're not going to go into the issue of legislation and you're going to go straight to court, is again a peculiar situation. Go to the legislature, see what it has to say. You have a constitutional scheme for dealing with all these positions. You don't take the law and order into your own hands. You're taking law and order into your hands for everything in our country. Where is the system of governance? Where is the system of good governance? Where is the system of discipline amongst ourselves? Are we not Indians? Are we not a part of a system? In all foreign countries, they speak their own language. Their English has also been spoken. Many countries have bilingual systems. Their national languages. The Pidgin English is one, for example. The French is one. I mean, I'm not able to understand this attitude. No, we won't have this. Why won't you have it? And the Constitution provides for it. You forget it's a state subject or a national subject. Why should you not accept the constitutional norms?
Defilement of Hindi is very unfortunate.
If that is the condition, then that is the situation in the Constitution. It provides for it in Article 341, 342. It's a national official language of the country. Why do you feel shy of it?
Absolutely.
If it's an official language, please accept it with good grace.
Absolutely. And I also want to, while this is fair and Kailash Vasdev is putting forward... Yes, Kailash Vasdev is putting forward points right now.
I think Mr. Vasdev should go and preach this across Tamil Nadu. Mr. Vasdev should...
I'm saying the whole country. You forget Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. I'm saying this should be all over the country. This should be all over the country. You should have a binding language apart from English.
Excuse me, sir. We have unity in diversity here.
We have our own tradition.
We have unity in diversity here. We don't have a forced unity amongst us.
So we
have a diverse country.
So that means Hindi should not be defiled.
So if you want us all to speak Hindi, if you want us all to wear the kurta pajama, it's not going to work.
Hindi boards should not go.
Unity, diversity shouldn't create diversity.
Right. I just want to point out, one thing. If we are going to be so upset, Brijesh Kalappa, we're going to be so upset. I'll tell you what we should be upset with. Brijesh.
They only have unity.
Mr.
That's
Kalappa,
not going to work in India.
I'll tell you what is going to work in India. 821 farmers committed suicide in the state of Karnataka between April 1st and March 2nd, between April 1st last year and March 2nd this year. The number of stunted and starving babies in the state of Karnataka has actually gone up over the last 2 years, and you've fallen several notches when it comes to drought. Karnataka is estimated at 43 deaths before the age of 1 year per 1,000 children. Under the age of 5, mortality rate of 55 deaths per 1,000. This is where you stand. There are several problems to look at. Let's in fact take pride in Bengaluru Lake. Let's in fact take pride in solving the problem of the fact that you have a lake that is poisoning drinking water of the people in Bangalore, irrespective of the language they speak. They're all drinking poison. Why don't we fix that problem? Fix that problem. No, Brijesh Kalappa, fix the problem of the lake, fix the problem of the traffic, fix the problem in Whitefield, fix the problem of electricity, fix the problem of farmer suicides. I can go on and on. I have the statistics. You are distracting people.
I'm telling you that where you were speaking about people who had a nutrition problem, you are lying.
And stop this
because we give free rice, we give free milk. We give free rice, we give free milk, we give free dal.
Statistics.
Which other state has this?
These are government
statistics.
ब्रिजेश जी जिस पार्टी से हैं, मुझे पता नहीं ये कौन सी वाली कांग्रेस पार्टी से हैं। ये जिस कांग्रेस पार्टी की बात करते हैं, उसी कांग्रेस पार्टी के महात्मा गांधी जी, जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी, इन्होंने इस देश में हिंदी राष्ट्रीय भाषा होनी चाहिए, ये उन्होंने कहा था।
लैंग्वेजेस आर
इस देश में जब आप बात करते हैं रीजनलिज्म की, तो सरदार भगत सिंह ने जो मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला है वो हिंदी में गाया है।
एक मिनट 1 सेकंड।
सुभाष चंद्र बोस जी ने इस देश में कदम कदम बढ़ाए जा, खुशी के गीत गाए जा, ये बंगाली होते हुए हिंदी में गाया था।
योगेश वर्मा 1 सेकंड।
स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों की भाषा है। आप कांग्रेस हैं और आप कह रहे थे अभी फेज जिसे कि आप मुझे मत सिखाइए मेरे को क्या करना चाहिए, तो मैं आपको बताता हूं कि आपको क्या करना चाहिए। कांग्रेस इसी हरकत से पूरे देश में खत्म हो गई, आने वाले समय में कर्नाटक में भी खत्म हो जाएगी।
This is not about politics. This is not about politics.
अगर कर्नाटक को जलाने का काम, कर्नाटक को डिरेल करने का काम।
अच्छा एक मिनट, शांत हो जाइए। I know that everybody has really riled up emotions when it comes to languages. You have massive egos about what people write on boards. I would like you to have massive egos about starving children. Have massive egos about farmers who are committing suicide in your state. Have massive egos about the fact that you are everywhere you go in this country, people talk about the traffic in Bengaluru. People call it a nightmare. I get hurt every time someone says that. Have massive egos about the fact that that frothing lake is the most popular image about the city across the world right now, and you have not found a solution. There are people pumping chemicals. Have massive egos about the fact that the rice you are distributing, Brijesh Kalappa, to the poor has worms in it, and we showed you that on the screen. Have massive egos about those things. Show more pride in the city that we all love. Show more pride in the work that you do. Don't rile up emotions on things like this. I agree Kannada is a beautiful language. We should speak the language as much as possible. We should teach the language as much as possible. Show me what you have done to help more people learn the language. Have you created an app? Have you created a website? Are you using IT companies to pass on the language to people? Are you trying in any way to help people who come to the city learn the language? Is there a government program where I can sign on and learn to speak the beautiful language of Kannada? What have you done? Tell me what you've done. You have no answers. What have you done to clean up the Bengaluru lake? What have you done to clean up the water in Bangalore? What have you done to solve the electricity problem? What have you done to solve the problem of traffic in Whitefield? What have you done to solve the problem of farmer suicides? Let's talk about all of those things. When you've checked all those boxes and then you have a lot of free time, let's buy some popcorn and talk about languages. Focus on the issues that really matter. Then we'll get to these distractions that you have picked up right before election year. The people in Bangalore are very smart. They're not going to fall for this. While they're stuck in traffic every day for 2 hours, they're going to think of the real problems. They're not going to fall for this sort of nonsense. And neither are we. Thanks for watching.